Hi, Nanny. Okay, sweetheart. First of all, I choose my machine, and I use a Janome MC9900, which is the Alna Expressive 860. Then I choose a hoop. Right. Then I go to artwork and I import an image. Here we go. And as you can see, it is far too wide and I think too large. So I come here to my measurement boxes. And I tell this I want to alter the width. And I'm going to make that 130. And it alters the height because the lock is on. And that's to make certain that the whole thing is decreased in size proportionately. So I hit enter. And there is the design. I know it's not identical to yours. I couldn't find yours. And I'm going to tell that lock. Now to get to that, I simply right-clicked inside of the image and it brought me up the pop-up. Now, I like my resequence bar open. And there is my image. I also like my object properties open. Now, I don't know if you're using a laptop or a desktop, but I use a desktop and I have a 28-inch screen because I like to be able to see all my tools, all my toolboxes, my object properties and my resequence bar. Now, you're probably aware that we have, besides the alpha toolbar, in other words, lettering. I don't mean lettering, I mean written titles. An icon toolbar and a second icon toolbar. They have got proper names. I just don't use them. I just use top alpha toolbar, top icon toolbar, lower icon toolbar. Okay. Now for this design. Now your design, you used a single fill angle for the whole design. Not a good idea. Now, one of the things you could have done, and was gone to manage auto fabrics, and that opens up your fabric dialog. And we want terry toweling. So let's go and have a look at the settings. And it tells us we've got a stitch length of 4, a stitch spacing of 3.5, an underlay type of tatami plus tatami, first layer 4mm length, stitch spacing of 3.5, pull comp of 0.25. That's for the underlay. And layer 2 is the same settings. Tatami on something like terry toweling, because what I'm going to show you is I'm going to do an embossed design. I would prefer that to be a bit shorter, so I'm going to set mine for 3.5, but to do that I have to actually go and create a new fabric setting. So I think we'll stick with the default ones for a minute. So I'm going to tell that to close, and then you see here I can create a new auto fabric based on terry toweling. I'll keep that for another day. I'm just going to tell that close. Right. One way you can do this design is you make a shape and you fill it with a grid of stitching. But your shape that you want, which is this stalk, has no stitching at all. So it's the terry toweling loops make the image. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go to digitize, and I'm going to pick up digitize closed shape, and then I'm going to tell it don't give me any underlay. So I'm going to come over here and turn off the underlay, and it won't let me because I haven't gone for a setting inside design settings, which is auto fabric, and I turn auto fabric off. Oops, I've laid a node I didn't intend. Okay, when I lay a node, if I lay a left node, you will see red concentric circles. If I lay a right node, you will see blue concentric circles. So as I don't have to keep saying left node, right node, left node, right node. Right, that's that bit explained. And I'm going to start with a node up here. I'm going to take it out of true view so you can see the image underneath. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to tell that no, I've changed my mind, I don't need any stitching. I'm going to go to my fill, and I'm going to tell that give me a spacing of 0.9 millimeters, and tell that OK. There we go. Now I'm going to go to reshape, which is up here on the left of the second icon toolbar, and I'm going to alter that to 20. Now my start point is there, my end point is here. I'm going to tell that stop. I am now going to tell that digitize holes. Right, now I've got arthritis in my hands, so this is going to be a very long, slow, painful process. So I'm going to stop talking, I will start clicking, and hopefully by observing the fact that there are red and blue nodes, red for left node, blue for right node, you'll catch on to which ones I'm using. And I'm going to start here, so I'll see you in a moment when I have finished. Use your backspace key if you feel you've made a mistake with a node, which is what I just did. And I don't like that. That looks like a broad thumb top. Now I'm going to ignore the bow on the top of the bundle. click once to set the node, click twice on your enter buttons to actually remove all the stitches that were inside there. But we haven't finished yet. Now my end point is there. I'm now going to right click into that thumbnail and tell it duplicate, and instantly there's a great big long jump up to the top. Why? Because that's where the original one started. So I'm going to tell that reshape, and I'm going to move that point down to here and take my end point and put it up to there, which is where my start point was. Now I'm going to change the angle, and that's what this bar is. See it? I'm going to swing it over to 180, which is not where I actually want it to be. And I'm going to knock 20 off of 180, which will bring me up to about 160. Now we get a fine diamond mesh. So I'm going to hit the stop button, and that stops, it drops all the various tools. Now I'm going to hit the second thumbnail, which is the last one that I just did, and I've seen a few things there that I don't like. That's made an evil jump. Let me just quickly see what happens if I adjust that stitch angle to 147. Yep, it's got rid of them, and I've still got a diamond grid. Let me just take that back, undo, there it is, there's a line there and a line there, and I don't like that, so I'm going to tell that redo. There's still a line there, so I needed to take it up that little bit further to get rid of that jump. I seem to have a little jump in there. I don't much like that. How far have I got to take this to get rid of that one? Nope. So let's just have that last one undo and learn to live with that one. Tell that stop, highlight the second one, and I'm going to go to edit object, and I want create outlines and offsets. Okay, I'm going to tell it single run for a moment and tell it okay. Now you can see in this image I've got a frame around the design. So I'm going to go into object properties. This is why I like mine open when I'm working, and I'm going to ask for satin and a manual spacing 0.43. I don't like a very dense satin stitch. My thread is 0.4 of a millimeter wide, so why would I have a stitch which is narrower than my thread? Because my stitches will simply all tie up on one another. Now I'm going to go to stitching, and it's only giving me a center run. I would prefer an edge run because that gives the stitches something to hang on to. Right, now the inside outline, and let's make that a back stitch, thickness 25. Make it good and heavy so as it really does delineate the shape, and then hit enter. Now we'll look at that in true view, get rid of the display, Everywhere where there's blue stitching will be flattened terry toweling. Everywhere inside of that where there's no blue stitching, there's going to be fluffy terry toweling standing up. That's an embossed design, and they're called embossed because this stitching in the background, and it works fantastically on things like terry toweling, velvet, anything with a stand-up surface, fleece. You flatten an area around something which allows the fabric to pop itself up inside. Now, File, Save Design As, and I've done one there, but it took far too long to do. So I'm going to call this one Baby Delivery, so as I know which is which. And I'm saving it in 3.5. Hatch offers you EMB, but it's 3.6, and only another Hatch user can open it. 3.5 Hatch Genome MBX can open the 3.5 version, and if you save it in E3, then the commercial software and I've forgotten the name of it, their design viewer can open it. So I'm saving it 3.5 and tell that save. Now it says found objects not supported in output version. Do you want to continue? I know there is nothing in that design that is not supported in ES3 Genome MBX, so I'm going to tell that yes, I do want to continue. Now I'm going to do another video and show you how you can use your fills to digitize your design. So I'll see you in the next video.